Today on Studio One, we'll see how innovative machines can make life easier for some people. One man's skill has enabled some kids to stand for the first time. Also, put your earplugs in because we'll show you how kids are learning how to safely use firearms. And we'll tell you which state is leading the nation in sending its high school graduates on to college.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hello everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Kelly Anderson. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, we have a lot of great stuff in store for you. One of them is we're going to talk to an entomologist about mosquitoes.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, with a lot of neat stuff about mosquitoes. I don't know a lot about mosquitoes, so I thought I'd prep myself a little bit on the subject. And I found out there's actually an American Mosquito Control Association.
Really?
And it's been around forever, since 1935, so it's not only today where they're bothering us, of course, it's been almost forever.
Well, they obviously haven't done anything too spectacular if they've been working on it since 1935.
That's right, you know, and also at this, I found some information where the name mosquito comes from. And here it is. Mosquito is a Spanish or Portuguese word meaning little fly.
Really? Yeah. Little fly. You know, I'd probably call them a different type of fly if I was doing the translation.
Like a mean little fly.
A mean little fly. Angry little flies.
We'll look forward to that interview coming up. Also, a religious faith can have a major impact on a person's life. We'll tell you how researchers are looking at its effect on teenagers.
And keeping a university going is a tough job that requires a lot of money. Many organizations are formed to help with this task. We'll talk to someone who leads an organization that fundraises on a daily basis.
But first, today's news with Haley Wamstead.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. Another fatal shooting happened in the Washington, D.C. area on Wednesday night. A 53-year-old man was killed pumping gas at a Manassas, Virginia service station. Police say it is too early to say if the shooting is linked to the serial sniper that has killed 6 people in the past week, but they say the shooting is very much like the others. The man was killed with a single shot to the head. Authorities are investigating a report that a white van was seen in the area. In Washington, D.C., the debate in Congress over the use of military force in Iraq is nearing an end. The Senate voted to stop delaying tactics and to start discussing final approval of the measure. The bipartisan vote came after Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle announced his support for the president. The agreement gives President Bush the power to act without going through the United Nations, but some lawmakers say the authorization gives him too much discretion in using military force. The resolution is expected to pass the House by a wide margin. Federal regulators have quietly eliminated a rule important to many cellular phone customers. The Federal Communications Commission no longer requires cell phone providers to show customers their coverage area maps. The FCC says the rule is no longer necessary because of the intense competition between providers. Some companies promote their coverage areas because that is what attracts many customers. This change will take effect in November, but some people in the cellular industry think most providers will still offer the maps.
Absolutely, we'll still provide them. It's something that customers, absolutely, that's one of the first questions. They want to get a copy of the package they're signing up for in writing, get a copy of the coverage area map.
Some opponents argue that the maps are often inaccurate. They say the FCC should focus on improving the accuracy of the maps rather than eliminating them. Others are concerned with the effects this will have on public safety because of their importance in search and rescue efforts. State corrections officials are getting some help from new tracking technology. They can now track parole violators using satellites. The new system allows parole officers to track offenders fitted with special transmitters. Until recently, patrol officers had to make phone calls and sometimes drive out to locations to verify an offender's whereabouts. The device uses global positioning satellites to determine the offender's location and relays that position to patrol officers. This technology is useful for monitoring high-risk offenders who may violate the terms of their parole by going places they're not allowed. There has been a lot of research done to determine what makes teens good or bad, but a new study from the University of North Carolina takes another element into account that has rarely been considered before.
On a Friday night, Some parents wonder where their teenagers are, hoping that they are staying out of trouble. This is a typical Friday night at Hope Covenant Evangelical Free Church in Grand Forks, North Dakota. These teens are here to socialize, have fun, and worship. Some may be surprised to find that religion and spirituality has never been seriously taken into account when studying teens and delinquency.
We have to look at all of the influences, and religion is a huge influence in the behavior of people around the world, no matter what the religion is, if it's going to be Christianity or Judaism or Islam or whatever else the religion is, it influences the people in that society.
A recent study found that religious teens are less likely to smoke, drink, and steal. Religious teenagers were found to be more involved in organizations, school, and their community. Some teens say others in their church are a major influence.
I think the youth leaders help us want to be better people because they are better people and we see that.
Some social investigators argue that good behavior may be what causes religious feelings among teenagers. Another view is that kids who are initially religious and start getting into trouble drop out of religion because it just feels uncomfortable for them. These troublesome teens would now be shown as not religious in a survey.
I think kids really want to be good, but they just don't have any real examples where they're at a lot of times.
Borswold says positive peer pressure that religion provides may be one of the biggest factors that sets religious teens apart from others. I'm Nick Oski, reporting for Studio One News.
The study also found that religious teens get fewer traffic tickets, wear their seatbelts more, and exercise more than other teens. And that's news for now. Monty and Kelly?
Thanks, Haley. Well, it's certainly starting to look more fallish outside.
It's beautiful out there. I love this time of year.
Yep, the leaves are falling. They're all golden.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at what's coming up in the forecast. Go to the Regional Weather Information Center with John Randall. John.
Well, Monty and Kelly, this morning we woke up to some pretty dense fog in the area, helped keep our temperatures from warming up what we expected them to today. Let's look and see our almanac right now in Grand Forks. So far today we have reached a high of 60 degrees. This morning we woke up to a low of 39 degrees. Sunset this evening, getting later every day, 6:50 p.m. Currently in Grand Forks, we're sitting at a temperature still of 60 degrees under beautiful, mostly sunny skies. Dew point of 51 degrees, south winds at 18 miles an hour, and our pressure's been slowly dropping throughout the day, now sitting at 29.82 inches of mercury. Current temperatures across the region, very, very warm out west where they did get a lot of sunshine and they didn't see any fog this morning. 75 degrees for Minot, Bismarck, Rapid City, and even out into Billings, Montana. 71 in Casper, but very, very cool into eastern sections of Minnesota. Only 50 degrees in Duluth and 64 degrees for the Twin Cities. Current surface analysis shows high pressure dominating out in the southwest. Partly cloudy skies out and around the Portland, Oregon area with temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. But we do have Tropical Depression Kyle that is still just right off the coast of Florida, and that is one of the longest lasting tropical systems on record. As we look into our area, we see that sunshine is very, very bright across the state of North Dakota. And we have that low pressure system draped off just to the north and west of us, and that's going to be dramatically affecting our weather over the next few days. That Friday surface analysis shows that cold front will be pushing through our area. Throughout the day, we will start off the morning rather warm, but we will have those temperatures dropping back throughout the day. Looking at our Friday's forecast, 57 degrees for a high, low tomorrow morning, very mild, right around the 49-degree mark, under mostly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers around the area. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Weather IQ question, what wind speed does a tropical storm must reach to be upgraded to a hurricane? Ranges right there from anywhere from 50 miles an hour to 125 miles an hour. We'll have the answer to that, Monty and Kelly, and your extended forecast, which does show a major change in the temperatures in the second half of the show.
Thanks a lot, John. You know, I feel like I should know the answer to that question just because it's been in the news so much lately, but
There's been a lot of hurricane footage and everything we've seen.
I really don't know.
I don't know. A lot. Really, a lot of wind.
A lot of wind. We'll go with that.
Okay, let's go now to more sports with Corey Morlock.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. This has to be an absolute nightmare for Bud Selig. The Minnesota Twins are in the league championship series only 9 months after Selig tried to get rid of him with contraction. The Twins won their first game of the series Tuesday, and on Wednesday they tried to increase that lead against Anaheim. To the Metrodome, top six, 4-0 Angels. Brad Fulmer gets a hold of one for a 2-run shot. The Angels would go up 6-0. Now in the bottom of the 8th, Twins trying to mount a comeback. Bobby Kelty strikes out on what looks like a ball. He was not pleased. The Angels would win 6-3. Giants St. Louis, Barry Bonds doing what he's done all offseason, stepping up when it really matters. Rich Aurelia and Jeff Kent scoring the Bonds triple. It'd be 4-0 Giants. Top third, 6-1 Giants, and Kenny Lofton just showing off for the fans. The solo shot will put the Giants up by 6. Lofton will get up again in the 5th though. Pitch comes in high and tight. Lofton is not pleased. A scuffle would ensue. Eventually, all the teams decided it would be a good time to have a nice friendly timeout at the ballpark. The Giants would go on to win 9-6. In recent years, concussions have become a growing concern in the NFL. Quarterbacks Troy Aikman and Steve Young ended their careers early because they received multiple concussions. Concussions happen when the brain hits the inside of the skull and the brain is bruised. Riddell Helmet Manufacturing Company has introduced a new helmet that is specifically designed to help reduce concussions. It has a larger shell to allow for extra padding on the sides of the helmet. It also has holes along the top of the helmet for better ventilation. Players are using the helmet in both the NFL and at colleges. The University of North Dakota is one of the schools experimenting with the new helmets. It found that one of the downsides is the cost.
The thing that really is bothering the players and the teams, that it's probably $145 where the others are probably $90 to $100. So cost versus it will or will not prevent concussions is still a question mark.
There are mixed opinions on whether or not the helmet is effective and comfortable for players. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. And this week's question, who holds the record for the most touchdowns in the Super Bowl? Is it John Elway, Joe Montana, Steve Young, or Brett Favre? We'll have the answer to that and more sports in the second half hour of the show. Monty and Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Corey. Walt Disney is taking an award-winning book and turning it into a fantasy-filled movie. We'll preview their latest film release coming up.
And when we come back, we'll talk to a man about what it's like to work for an organization where fundraising is a key element to the job. This important organization is a part of many college campuses today.
The University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration offers real degrees for real people. Our nationally recognized faculty can help you earn a master's degree in business through evening classes.
Taking these evening classes were very convenient for me, and that's how I was able to complete the program.
We offer degrees for people who work, raise families, and lead busy lives. The UND College of Business and Public Administration, real degrees for real people.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The University of North Dakota. You can go anywhere from here. At UND, you'll find a challenging, exciting community that draws students from across the nation and around the world. Visit our campus and join the University of North Dakota community.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
At UND Aerospace, let your future take flight. Plan your education in the most technologically advanced collegiate and contract aerospace training environment on the planet. Graduates work for top agencies and fly for every major airline nationwide. Study on campus, via distance learning, or at any of our facilities, and you'll be where the aviation industry leaders of tomorrow are today. UND Aerospace at the University of North Dakota, Grand Forks.
You're watching Studio One, your source for news, weather, sports, and entertainment.
Alumni are important to the growth of any university. Not only do they help keep traditions alive, but they can also help financially with programs. One important organization that helps to keep these people connected is an Alumni Association. Today we're talking to the new director of the University of North Dakota's Alumni Association and Foundation, Tim O'Keefe. Thank you for coming on the show today, Tim.
My pleasure, Monty.
Well, UND has a rich history, and it started with alumni a long time ago. What's the story of how the Alumni Association came to be today?
Well, as you know, our roots go back to before we acquired our statehood, 1883, and the first class of 8. I kind of think today most people graduate in 5 years. Apparently then it took 6, but they came out in 1889, and the 8 graduates got together and wanted to retain contact with each other and as they move forward in their lives, and that was really the foundation of the Alumni Association. And today we have over 102,000 alumni across the world that really have kind of an uncommon dedication, in the words of Earl Strindon, one of my predecessors, to the institution and to the programs that we run.
Well, with so many people scattered all over, how do you keep in contact with so many people?
Well, we've got a great staff and do that in a variety of ways. Some of the important things we do, obviously the most important being next week with homecoming. We have 65 different events going on. Those events are spread across campus. They're very diverse in terms of the background they represent. And then throughout all the year long, and frankly, as I'm just getting ready to come on board November 1st, and they're showing me the schedule of things that we're involved in, it really is stunning. We have events across the country. We have an alumni review that comes out 6 times a year that's exceptionally well done. And so there's just a variety of ways that we stay in contact. Next week, I think we've got 35, 40 satellite sites where there's going to be parties going on this Saturday watching the UND-NDSU football game. The Minnesota hockey game during the winter. We'll have a big event in Minneapolis, but there'll be sites all across the country where alumni will gather and have some fun and hopefully watch us beat the Gophers.
Yeah, well, that's always something too, is the sports. Well, you have more than 60 people working in your office. Do all these people do different things then?
It really is divided up into a variety of functions. The development staff, by and large, are in the J. Lloyd Stone Center, which is the older building just off of University and Harvard. And then across the street is kind of the operations center, or the Strindon Center, and in there the alumni relations group, the finance. You've got a big information management group to try and support everything that's going on. A big mail department. The amount of mail that goes out of our office to 102,000 alumni is just stunning. So it's a busy place year-round.
Is it hard to always be asking for money?
Well, really, we really don't do that in quite so overt a fashion. And again, as I'm coming into that, we try to stay connected with our alumni from the time they leave campus. And we've been very fortunate to have a lot of people be very successful. We hope that they recall that we were an important part of that, both educationally as well as the network you establish, social things you learn, just a whole variety of different ways, I think, that you are connected to the campus and the campus experience. So those things kind of evolve, I think, through the span of one's lifetime rather than having us out there all the time with our hand out.
Yeah, and what are some of the more common techniques to raise money then?
Well, there's a variety of different ways that you can be involved. People give property, people give cash, charitable unit trusts. There's a variety of different ways that you can connect. A lot of people locally, for example, are connected through the Fighting Sioux Club. They are involved in a variety of activities on campus. People's hearts get connected, I think, to a campus in a lot of different ways, and whatever means that they can, we'll take the dollar that the graduate can give us on the way out, and we've had a lot of graduates, Ralph Engelstead most notably, who've given us $1 million plus gifts, and so we just hope that we become enough of a part of the fabric of their life that as things evolve, as they move down the road, that they'll want to stay connected.
Sure. Now, it's not new for you to be working with large amounts of money. You were in the banking industry for quite a while, and now you're moving into an area where you're also dealing with millions of dollars. What kind of pressures does that put on you personally, being in that sort of a position?
Well, I think the foundation of any of those type of things are relationships, and that's the common bond. The banking business is really about relationships and building trust, providing solutions. Really, that's what we do with the Alumni Association in terms of at least the monetary part of it. A lot of times, the big gifts come about when people are planning their estates, and again, hopefully we've had the kind of relationship with them that they want to connect with us as being part of the solution. We'll have ideas, we'll work with their advisors, and hopefully bring things together in a way that it works well for them and their families.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on today, Tim, and giving us a little bit of insight of how universities can function with alumni.
It's my pleasure. Looking forward to working with all you as graduates as well.
Good. Thanks a lot. Walt Disney is taking an award-winning book and turning it into a fantasy-filled movie. We'll preview their latest film release. And we'll meet a man who is an electrical contractor by trade, but puts his heart into the work he does for children. That story is next.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, Native American Programs is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Tuck Everlasting is an award-winning book that Walt Disney Pictures is transforming into a movie. The dreamlike story is one that has been read for 2 generations. Tuck Everlasting is the story of a rebellious teenage girl named Winnie Foster. Winnie is brought up in a strict environment and decides to run away from home. While lost in the woods, Winnie crosses paths with a young boy her age named Jesse Tuck. He instantly intrigues her. Although Tuck and his family are extremely kind and generous to Winnie, they hold a powerful secret. Alexis Bledel plays Winnie Foster in the movie. She says it was an easy decision to take the part.
I first got involved with Tuck Everlasting when I read the script, and then I sat down with the director, Jay Russell, and we talked about it for a while, about the character and what his ideas were for the film, and I really liked what he had to say, and then all these great actors were attached to the project, so I really wanted to be a part of it.
Bledel says she felt sorry for the crew. For one scene, they had to carry all of the equipment up the side of a mountain. Tuck Everlasting opens in theaters on Friday, October 11th. Now, time to take a look at the events happening in your area. Many children like to play with building blocks. As people get older, they rarely get the opportunity to build things anymore. One man has never lost his enthusiasm for creation.
When you put them in standing. When you get them in standing.
Jim Steinke works well with his hands and takes pride in what they can construct. Jim's company, called Innovative Products, helps kids with disabilities sit and stand for the very first time.
Well, I love working with kids because I'm an electrical contractor by trade, and I do home inspecting now in Grand Forks here, but this is kind of where my heart is and keeps me going.
Jim just completed the smallest seating system in the world that goes from sit to stand. The colored buttons help the kids easily identify which buttons are used to move in what direction.
Everything we build, to start with, will work from a switch or a joystick.
Jim builds the bots to be interchangeable. The reason behind this is so a parent can buy a mini bot for their child and then switch to the GoBot, which can be used outside. Jim says he enjoys watching a child get excited when they first use the machine. They build a machine so there's more than one way to put the child into the bot. They can either face forward or they can stand in it backwards. Jim says the machines accommodate the child.
So we've designed our electronics so if you flip this switch, a little switch in here, if you flip that switch, now everything works correctly. So we don't care whether the child is going this way or going that way. We've answered all the questions.
Jim travels all over the country attending ability expos. This gives him a chance to display their products to a larger market. He says a lot of therapists, educators, and parents are interested in their machines.
What happens when you go to a show is you get to see a bunch of different kids in your product and you get a bunch of new ideas, and that's where everything comes from.
Jim says the important thing is to take those ideas and make them work. He says he wants to make sure he is always building for the kids' needs. This is James DeGelder reporting for Studio One.
Innovative Products has sold their machines to clients in 3 countries. Jim just got back from Chicago, where he sold machines to an entire Chicago school system. Studies show that a person earns more than $600,000 more in their lifetime if they have a college degree. We'll tell you how one state is leading the country in sending its kids to college. And if you're looking to blow off some steam at the end of the day, we'll show you a place that offers a fun and safe environment for doing just that. That story, plus news, sports, and the weather forecast in the next half hour on Studio One.
North Dakota has been home to many successful entrepreneurs. George Bull and his partners found value in farina, the whitest part of wheat, and created cream of wheat. Patrick Haggerty is the founder of one of the nation's high-tech giants, Texas Instruments. And Raymond Rood's product has been used in every Olympic competition since 1960. He is responsible for the modern diving board. Ryan Foltz is the first graduate of the UND Entrepreneurship Program. Are you next?
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation, together with thousands of alumni and friends, are making a difference at UND. Thanks to generous private support, many students have experienced the rich history, tradition, and spirit of the University of North Dakota. UND alumni and friends understand the importance of education and are proud to be part of UND's growth and success. Learn how your gift to the UND Foundation can benefit you and your university. You can make a difference.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering Degree Program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One. Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, we've got a lot of great information to share with you.
Yeah, we do. One of the things we're going to talk about in the next half of the show here is we talked to some people about the number of accidents that happen in the home and home safety. And so I took a look at Home Safety Council's webpage and I got some facts just because that's what you always do.
All right, well, let's hear what you got.
All right, so did you know that every 30 seconds in the United States, a child is unintentionally injured in the home?
Really?
Every 30 seconds.
That's
and
a
then
lot.
every 18 minutes, a person is killed
really?
in their home.
Home
A
safe
home accident,
is
knives,
not so
slipping,
safe.
falling, choking, drowning.
Gee.
every 18 minutes. So,
well, they always say it's closest to home is where, usually people get hurt.
So be careful.
Okay, we'll do that. Also, coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, a university diploma can open up many opportunities for young people. One state is leading the way in getting its high school grads to seek a college degree.
And stay tuned, we get to sit in on a night of fun at a shooting club. We'll talk to some people who say trap shooting is stress relieving.
And if you have spent a summer in the Midwest, you are very familiar with mosquitoes. We'll learn more about the life of these pests and why there are so many of them later on in the show. But before we get to that, today's news with Haley Wamstead.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. A man blew himself up at a bus stop near Tel Aviv Thursday, killing one woman and injuring nearly 20 others. The bomber had tried to get on the bus when the driver closed the back doors, causing him to fall. When the passengers and the driver went to check on him, they saw he was wearing a belt of explosives. They grabbed his hands to prevent him from setting off the device. During this struggle, many others were able to get away. Witnesses say the man then got up and set off the explosives. Israeli police have been on alert for suicide bombers after militant Palestinian groups vowed revenge on the Israeli army. High above the Earth's atmosphere, astronauts ventured outside to begin a construction project on the International Space Station. They used a robot arm to remove a 14-ton girder from the shuttle Atlantis and clamp it to the station. The $390 million girder is equipped with 3 radiators, several miles of wiring, and over 400 feet of stainless steel tubes and fiber optic cable. This was the first of 3 spacewalks the astronauts will take to install the new equipment. Another girder will arrive next month on the shuttle Endeavour. The American Medical Association has called for the Princeton Review to end its annual list of the top party schools. Every August, the Princeton Review publishes a chronicle of the best colleges based on 63 different criteria. The party school designation is based upon the consumption of alcohol, marijuana use, and many other factors. The AMA says rankings such as this should be stopped because they glorify drinking and offer college-bound students a skewed perception of what college life is really like. Some educators agree that alcohol abuse should not be looked at as something positive.
I think the American Medical Association has recognized, like many professionals dealing with alcohol issues, that alcohol is a very important thing to talk about, and that any way that it's glamorized is not good.
The Princeton Review says it is simply reporting on conditions that already exist on these campuses, and points out that they do list the top 20 stone-cold sober schools as well. Using needles for flu and insulin shots may soon be a thing of the past. Many Americans don't like getting shots and avoid potentially life-saving vaccinations such as flu shots every year. Now several companies are racing to develop sprays that will replace injections. One company is working on a nasal spray that will deliver the flu vaccine. Another is working on an insulin spray for diabetics that can be inhaled. The pain-free sprays could help millions of Americans who currently have to take injections or are tired of getting annual vaccinations. Both companies are awaiting FDA approval. When many people think of North Dakota, they often think of it mostly as a farm state, not as a leader in academics. But with the help of some special programs, high schools are helping students reach higher academic goals.
The state of North Dakota has bragging rights when it comes to education. A higher education report says North Dakota sends the highest percentage of high school students on to college. It leads the nation at 59%. The University of North Dakota Director of Enrollment Services, Kenton Pauls, says part of the reason may be that universities are now trying to meet the students' individual needs.
Students are perhaps a little more consumer-minded than they have been in the past, and we're trying to meet those needs with getting students to meet with individual faculty members and so on.
Many colleges have similar programs to UND, like sending student ambassadors to talk to seniors about what they want to do after graduation. Another reason so many North Dakota students go on to college may be the guidance they get in high school. Red River High School in Grand Forks has a unique program called the Comprehensive Guidance Program. This program is designed to help students decide what they want to do after they graduate. It involves not only the students, but the parents as well.
And most parents think that it's pretty darn important, that their kids are important enough to come in and spend some time and talk about their future.
The program has won national awards for its work with students. Ripplinger says she's seen firsthand how it gets students thinking about their future.
There are a whole lot more students that have a direction when they leave high school versus when I first came here and we weren't implementing a program.
Ripplinger says counselors try to help students take advantage of all the available resources so they can make the right decisions about life after high school. This is Christine Roig reporting for Studio One News.
The National Center for Public Policy and Higher Education says compared to other states, North Dakota ranks high in the percentage of students completing college degrees, but it ranks low in giving financial aid to low-income families. And that's news for today. Monty and Kelly.
Thank you, Haley. Well, have you figured out yet how fast wind has to be before it reaches hurricane speed?
No, you know, I'm striking out on these trivia questions today.
Yeah.
I've got nothing. So we should go back to the Regional Weather Information Center with John Randall to find out the answer. John.
Well, we'll find out that answer just to see how fast that speed has to be in just a little bit. But let's take a look at those current conditions right now in Grand Forks. So far right now, we have still sitting at that temperature of 60 degrees under those still very beautiful sunny skies out there with that dew point still sitting at 51 degrees, and those south winds are at 18 miles an hour. Well, those tropical storms and hurricanes can have wind speeds a lot stronger than that 18 miles an hour we're experiencing here today. We took a little deeper look into the world of tropical weather.
Another tropical weather season is well underway. In the past 5 months, there have been 12 named storms, 4 of which have been hurricanes. Since these storms develop over the warm ocean, it is difficult to forecast them.
Exactly when they're going to develop, still a kind of an art, sometimes more than a science.
It is hard for meteorologists to gather weather data over the ocean. They rely on a variety of other sources to create a forecast.
We mostly rely on satellite, and when it gets closer to land, aircraft reconnaissance to go and penetrate to try to find the conditions, and that is the key component is what are the conditions inside the storm.
A tropical system's impact on land can be devastating. In 1969, Hurricane Camille was the strongest hurricane to hit the United States mainland, packing winds of just under 200 miles per hour. When dealing with storms that powerful, good forecasting is crucial for saving lives and protecting property.
Well, we don't have to worry about those 100-mile-per-hour winds, hopefully anytime soon, but we do have to worry about that much colder weather that is going to be coming in this weekend. Here's that Friday surface analysis right now. There's that cold front that is sitting off just to the north and west of us, and as we work through Friday night and into Saturday, we do have that first cold front push through. There's a second cold front that pushes through, ushering much, much colder air in behind it, and Sunday, that high pressure dominates the skies, should keep our skies somewhat clear and very, very cold temperatures. Here's our extended forecast, 57 for a high on Friday, chance of some snow flurries on Saturday, but very windy and very cold, highs only for 36 degrees. Sunday morning, those lows will be right around 18 degrees, and we will be slowly warming up as we work our way into Monday. Weather IQ question, what wind speed is a tropical storm must be to upgrade it to a hurricane? The answer is B, 75 miles an hour. So Monty and Kelly, we shouldn't have those 75-mile-an-hour winds, but we will have very, very cold temperatures.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Yeah, we don't need those winds if we're going to have lows like we're going to see on Saturday.
That's right, and for the first time, I think in a long time, I've seen the snowflakes on the forecast.
It's not what I like to see, but no
But
way
you know,
around it.
Canada's happy because the hockey season has started. The NHL is starting now. And
One good part of winter.
Sure, there you go. And let's go now over to Corey Morlock at Sports with a hockey story.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. The weather is getting colder and hockey season is approaching. Players are getting ready to lace up their skates for the first big game of the season. However, for some, just a chance to put on those skates for that first big game would be very fulfilling.
The beginning of practice brings with it feelings of excitement as well as anxiety. While some players have their spots on the team in a firm grasp, others must prove their worth to the coaching staff as walk-ons.
It's definitely harder. I mean, you gotta, show everything you have in the first couple days and, not make any mistakes.
This is not a new situation for Rand France. The junior goalie from Rochester, Minnesota has been around for 3 years trying to find a roster spot on the University of North Dakota hockey team. For Rand France, tryouts is worth all the hard work and pressure.
It's just the coaching staff and the players and everything is they're just the tradition and all that. Everything put together makes it just a winning place to play and, fun place to play.
The North Dakota hockey tradition has not just been built on recruited and scholarship players. Walk-on athletes have also had an impact on the program. But to make it as a walk-on, the player must show their worth to the team.
Everybody has different roles within the team. Everybody's going to contribute at different levels, but no one player is more important necessarily than the other. So if you're going to be part of the team, you have to be making a contribution in some way, shape, or form, not just being a number on the team.
Former UND walk-on Matt Henderson is now playing in the National Hockey League. However, for Rand Franz, the NHL is not on his mind. He is just looking for his chance to compete in Division I college hockey. If it doesn't happen this year, he isn't through yet.
Well, I'll be back next year.
For photographer Corey Morlock, this is Rich Marcis reporting for Studio One Sports.
Walk-ons will not receive scholarship money right away. However, if they make the team and stay with the program, they could in the future. Walk-ons can also sometimes get a few of the same benefits as scholarship players, such as choice of classes and preferred housing. Now the time for the answer to this week's Studio One Sports trivia question. This week's question, who holds the record for most touchdowns in a Super Bowl? The answer is C, Steve Young, who had 6 touchdowns against San Diego when he was with San Francisco back in the '95 Super Bowl. And that's sports for today. Monty and Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Corey. Coming up on Studio One, we'll talk with an entomologist who will give us some interesting tidbits on mosquitoes. We'll learn more about these pests and about the frightening West Nile virus outbreak.
And we'll sit in on a night of fun at a gun club. The evening was planned to teach kids how to deal safely with firearms. That story is next on Studio One.
Liberal arts have always been the foundation of a good education. At the University of North Dakota, the liberal arts education is the cornerstone for more than 150 major fields of study that prepare students to be the leaders of the future. Here at UND, we also believe that the fine arts are important building blocks for success and for leading a rich, full life. And you never know where an interest in music might take you.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
Many people feel safe in their own homes. A study by the Home Safety Council might prove otherwise. Their study says injuries at home are the leading cause of death for people between the ages of 1 and 44. 20,000 people die each year from these accidents. 20 million people visit the emergency room because of household injuries. The medical bill for these numbers? It comes to $379 billion annually. We wanted your thoughts on potential dangers in your home.
My little sister turned on the stove and the burner covers were still on the stove and they burned.
Perhaps carbon monoxide poisoning in North Dakota where we have such long winters and use furnaces so much. I think that's probably a risk that all of us have in our homes to some extent.
My father used to fall asleep with cigarettes in his hand all the time. One time he actually burnt the whole couch down and almost took the house out with him.
The most dangerous thing in my home right now is I have a lot of things plugged into one outlet,
And every once in a while, if I'm using everything at once, the lights start flickering or going on and off like that. And so I get a little bit nervous about that sometimes.
It would probably be candles. We have candles lit, and if you forget, it's easy to forget to blow them out before you leave.
People enjoy a variety of activities in their spare time. Men and women of all ages spend their free time doing things like biking, rollerblading, and even shopping. Some even choose a more explosive hobby when they need a break from the everyday hustle and bustle.
Believe it or not, this is relaxing for some people. Tom Polkinghorn wants to show these young kids how much fun shooting can be. Tom is the president of the Grand Forks Gun Club, and today is a special shooting event for kids.
It teaches them a discipline in life. I mean, if they pay attention to what they're doing, it'll help elsewhere. We've known where some kids that have had, you know, they seem kind of distant on what they're trying to do. It helps them focus on, you know, things in their normal life. But mostly it's enjoyment.
The kids can shoot in the Annie Oakley events and win Cornish game hens. And yes, they do want to win these. Tom says the purpose of the fun night is to promote safety and help the kids develop their shooting skills. Amanda just started shooting this year and is having a blast. She says there are many reasons to be involved in such a club.
I don't have to stay at home, and I get to have more friends.
Mary, the gun club's treasurer, has been shooting for many years now. She says shooting can boost the confidence of these kids.
Their morale even picks up because they can be good at something. If they can't run or jump, they usually can shoot, though.
Mary has won many awards while competing in the sport.
I love to shoot. I would try to make the state team every year. And team captain, #1, North Dakota women.
There is a common thread that brings all these members together. Some say it is the love of outdoors and tradition. In Mary, Tom, and Amanda's case, they're all related. For the Polkinghorns, shooting at the gun club is a chance to spend time as a family. With photographer Froda Tilden Nordby, I'm Monica Lemoyne for Studio One.
Although it is a membership club, anyone can shoot there. The club also hosts a summer program for kids and has leagues for adult participation as well. The buzz in your ear and the itching on your arms and legs is all too familiar. Mosquitoes are a constant nuisance during the summer months in many areas of the country. You may be surprised at how little you know about the life of a mosquito. You'll learn more next.
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation, together with thousands of alumni and friends, are making a difference at UND. Thanks to generous private support, many students have experienced the rich history, tradition, and spirit of the University of North Dakota. UND alumni and friends understand the importance of education and are proud to be part of UND's growth and success. Learn how your gift to the UND Foundation can benefit you and your university. You can make a difference.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
The Graduate School at the University of North Dakota is the premier graduate school of the Northern Great Plains, offering advanced degrees in more than 50 fields of study. Our innovative and flexible programs give full-time students, as well as working professionals, the opportunity to study under the guidance of nationally and internationally recognized faculty. Advance your career with a master's or doctoral degree from the Graduate School at the University of North Dakota.
Unfortunately, mosquitoes are just a part of everyday life for many people around the world. However, the outbreak of the West Nile virus in the United States has made many people more curious about the pesky insects. Here to teach us more about the life of a mosquito is entomologist Jeff Vaughan. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I feel like I've dealt with about 1 million mosquitoes this past summer just in my own backyard, but you have obviously dealt with quite a few more. Can you tell us a bit about the research you're doing right now?
Oh, certainly. I am fortunate enough to be able to do some research looking at malaria development in mosquitoes in Thailand. It's an NIH-funded project, and it's been a lot of fun.
And so you're doing all this research over there on the other side of the world, and
right.
I know that locally you're doing some research too. You've brought in actually some rather disgusting samples here of jars of mosquitoes, if you want to.
Sure. This is.
How many are in that jar right there?
Would you care to guess? There's about 60,000.
60,000 mosquitoes in there.
So that's what 60,000 mosquitoes looks like.
Now tell us about these guys. How does a mosquito come into being? You know, how are they born?
Oh, well, all mosquitoes lay eggs. And we tend to think of mosquitoes laying eggs on or near the water. And those eggs will hatch into little, what we call aquatic wigglers, or little larval stages.
Sounds gross.
Yes, well it is. And they spend anywhere from a week to 2 weeks in the larval stage, when they'll metamorphose or change, just like a caterpillar does to a cocoon. They'll change into little pupae, which lasts for a couple of days. And from that pupa will emerge the adult mosquito.
And how long then does the adult mosquito live?
Well, again, that depends upon what species you're talking about, but the mosquitoes around here would probably live about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so not very long at all that we're dealing with them.
Not that long.
And are all those, as soon as they're an adult mosquito, are they all out there looking for our blood? Is that what they all do, is go?
Oh, no, they don't all do that. I'm afraid that only the female does that.
Only the females,
yes.
And so the males are just...
The males are only feed on nectar and sugar sources.
Okay.
They don't blood feed.
So now, are these all the same species in this jar here? You had mentioned that there are different species of mosquitoes.
There are different species, and here in Grand Forks, there's about 26 different species here in this city. When you go to trap mosquitoes and you try to sort them out and figure out what species they are, I have some examples here. This particular species you don't get very many of.
No, there's
only just a 2 or 3.
Okay.
Because
so how are you telling that that's a different mosquito than this 60,000 over here?
Well, a variety of characteristics you need to look at. Size, whether their wings are clear or spotted.
And we have a picture here
of
two different types. What are the differences on these?
Okay, well here are 2 main problem mosquitoes that we have here. And if we look at them closely, we see that one mosquito has a very pointed abdomen, whereas the other one has a blunt abdomen. So right away you can separate those mosquitoes. If you look at them carefully under a microscope, they're pretty easy to separate.
Okay, and so now between these 2 mosquitoes, is there one that is more likely to carry a type of disease, specifically like the West Nile virus?
Most certainly. The one with the blunt abdomen, that's Culex tarsalis.
Okay.
That mosquito is known to carry encephalitis viruses, as well as being very, very competent to transmit the West Nile virus.
The West Nile virus, okay. So these mosquitoes are out there and they're carrying these deadly diseases. What are some measures that people can take to protect themselves?
Oh, well, I think in this area, certainly, you're going to have to use some insect repellent when the mosquitoes get bad, if you want to stay outside. I like to wear long pants and long sleeve shirt.
Cover yourselves up.
Helps.
Now, with this research that you're doing and information that you're getting, do you foresee any long-term, any future, prevention techniques that you're going to come up with here? Any big solutions?
Well, I would love to tell you that I have the answer, but right now I don't. I think that there are some things that we can look at and research. Simple, basic questions like, how far do the mosquitoes travel? And this has implications in terms of how long a spray campaign will last. We need to know if there's ways that we can trap mosquitoes. We don't know this. We don't know exactly where the larval stages, okay, where they're breeding and where they're coming from. So there's lots of basic biology questions
and we
that will help.
We trust that you're working on that for us, Jeff, to try and get rid of these guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been really interesting.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks. You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, Native American Programs is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering Degree Program offers the only ABET-accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
At UND Aerospace, let your future take flight. Plan your education in the most technologically advanced collegiate and contract aerospace training environment on the planet. Graduates work for top agencies and fly for every major airline nationwide. Study on campus, via distance learning, or at any of our facilities, and you'll be where the aviation industry leaders of tomorrow are today. UND Aerospace at the University of North Dakota, Grand Forks.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Valor Insurance partners with you in protecting what matters most. For more than 50 years, Valor has built its reputation on its people, its clients, and a commitment to VIP service. Valor Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Valor Insurance understands that the strength of its people is its greatest asset. People that tailor insurance protection that meets your needs. That's the key to VIP service. Valor Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks.
Studio One is celebrating 15 years of excellence. We've hit many milestones along the way, and we want to share some of those with you. Today we're going to take back at a very important part of our history, and it's our very first satellite interview. This was back in 1992, 10 years ago.
The senator.
There's the Senator Kent Conrad in Washington, D.C., and that's Tom Buehring, our anchor at the time, talking to him. And the reason it was such a big deal is we'd never done it before, and we had to communicate with them precisely when we had to cut in and cut out. We had a 15-minute window with the senator.
No stress there, huh?
No, not too much. Everybody was on pins and needles. It went off without a hitch. It was perfect. And today we do it all the time. So we've paved the way since
kind of opened some opportunities for us. Well, tune in next week on Studio One. We'll get to watch a glass blower create his art. Plus, we'll have other news and entertainment stories for you.
We're going to leave you now with some pictures from an aviation museum. Those are courtesy of photographer Tyler Stoll. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.